That's a fairly steep stairway up, but I do it every morning.
And a lot of buildings or senior buildings don't want children, you know, and I can understand that, but...
Vanity be damned. I am going to be safe.
I'd live in a room, like a dormitory. I mean, I don't need much, but...
Tengo 90 años.
I am 90 years old.
Y 5 meses.
And 5 months.
Seniors are the overlooked diversity in Boston.
We feel that as grandparents, we have a little bit of latitude.
When I walk from here to MIT, I cross Storrow Drive, and I walk along the river. I find that very pleasant. Most of the time I use the escalator up. I use the elevator down at Copley, and for no rational reason, I walk the stairs at Kendall. That's a fairly steep stairway up, but I do it every morning. What do I do there? We provide new science course materials for 2 reservation schools for Passamaquoddy Indian kids in Calais, Maine. I don't like to walk on sidewalks made of brick because they tend to be uneven. It was a damp day, drizzly day, and the sidewalk was wet, and I either slipped or my toe got caught in a roughness on the sidewalk and I fell forward. Now I fall about once a year. Usually I fall forward and skin my knee, sometimes my forehead. That time I fell on my side and broke my pelvis. That was a fairly painful proposition, and I was laid up for several months. But I seem to have recovered, and for the last year or so, haven't had any problems. I walk to the Shaw Market on Huntington Avenue, do my shopping about every other week, and I taxi cab back from the market with lots of stuff. Keep busy, get yourself emotionally involved, and feel that you're doing something useful. Life is good on the whole.
Tengo 90 años.
I am 90 years old.
Y 5 meses.
And 5 months. 25 years. En este apartamento? In this apartment.
I'm at the pincho.
I go to the supermarket, Stop and Shop,
La farmacia buscar la medicina.
to the pharmacy,
Al médico, a la consulta.
to the doctor, to the hospital. Some days I'm stronger and some days I'm not that strong.
Si tengo que llamar a alguien, llamo.
If I need help, I know where to call. Hola, muchacha. Yeah, the neighbor help her also. The neighbors, when they see her coming with the bags, yeah, they go downstairs and help them.
Me voy a Brighton,
I go to Brighton, to the thrift shops.
a una tienda y guagua, trepa allá y trepa acá.
Sometimes I take 3 buses, 3 one way to go to where I want to go, and 3 to come back home.
A Brujín.
I go to visit my sister Francisca on Blue Hill. Yes, the family is very important, and our relationship with one another is really good. I have a brother in Florida that invited me and said, come down to Florida so we could be together, come to live here. But I don't like Florida.
Es mejor.
Mejor. Yeah, life here in Boston, where I am, is much better than either Dominican Republic or Florida.
Sí.
Seniors are the overlooked diversity in Boston, and seniors contribute enormously to the culture of a neighborhood. First of all, many seniors volunteer. We have gifts that we want to share, and by leaving these neighborhoods, we leave these neighborhoods bereft of what we can offer. Some cities now tax property owners based on what they purchased the property for. So if you've lived in your home for more than 10 years, let's say, and you're over 65 or whatever age the government decides is a retirement age, you should be paying taxes based on what you purchased your home for, plus a small increase, a small annual increase, but nothing like what I've seen, which is my property taxes in 25 years have quadrupled. So for example, somebody across the street has just moved into a duplex, $1.25 million. The fact that people are moving in who are paying these exorbitant prices for their homes and paying property taxes that they have already figured out that they can afford by moving into the neighborhood leaves us out of the picture. Because we've been here this whole time. We've created the neighborhood that has become so desirable for everybody to move to. And we're being penalized now because they can afford to pay those prices, we can't. So many of us, seniors, are reduced to having to have roommates. I've had roommates, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Why should I, at my age, have to have a roommate in order to continue to live in my home? Another option, of course, is, oh my goodness, my neighbor across the street has sold their duplex, which is similar in size to mine, for $1.25 million. Wow, I'll cash out. So the first thing that happens is I have to pay a capital gains tax, right? Boom, it's 25% or 30%, whatever it is, that's gone, right? So now I'm down to $800,000. I still have a little mortgage, I have to pay that off, I'm down to $700,000. For $700,000, I could not get, maybe I could, for $700,000 now, I could get a 500 square foot spot or move out far away. But I don't want to be far away. I love the city. I love to be able to walk. I love to ride my bike. I like taking public transportation. I love my neighbors.
Probably lived in the South End for over 30 years. Last 12 years I was in Jamaica Plain. I had bought a condo, but I've got medical complications. I can't work like I used to when I was self-employed. So I've lost it. I got foreclosed on, so I'm looking for housing. Staying in the Econo Lodge, when I get my check, the campgrounds, friends, I'm all over the place. I've got chronic kidney disease. My kidneys are failing, and my doctors are here in Boston, and I've got to get back to Boston. I'm beginning a transplant program, possibility, and I've got to get ready for dialysis if transplant doesn't happen, in a timely manner. So I would like to get closer to my doctors. I've got to get closer to my doctors, which means Boston. I've applied to all kinds of places. Boston Housing Authority, that's the big one, with many resources, but the waiting list there is unimaginable. After the Medicare charges, which is, it's not all that much, it's $104, I think. I get about $900, I get under $1,000 a month. And doesn't go very far, I would love to see more affordable housing built. I'd live in a room, like a dormitory. I mean, I don't need much, but sometimes when I have a little project in the city and I come in, I end up sleeping in my car on the street. That's no way to live. There's 65 people on the waiting list for 30 units. It used to be about a year wait, but this could be several years, and I don't know how to plan around that yet. It is my home. It's the only home I've known for decades.
Today we're asking the question, what can we do to make Boston more an age-friendly city? We have great respect certainly for our seniors in the city of Boston. And our senior population is growing faster than anywhere else. So the reason why we're here today, the reason why I'm here today, and we're all here today, is really to listen.
So I would love to see a senior citizen center for us.
Even if the MS could get up the street, it could not get to the house. So it's something to add to the emergency plan.
What I've been noticing lately is that a lot of the elderly are hungry. And I want to initiate opportunities to provide services to feed them.
And friends of mine who had children move out of South Boston that can't move back in because of affordable housing. And I think that we should have more affordable housing and family-friendly housing in South Boston.
It needs to be more of a walking-friendly area. I noticed that they've tried to address it by adding sidewalks on Washington Street, which for a long time, you literally had to walk in the street or on the side of the road.
And I know it's a difficult problem to manage. You can't have all the trucks go over to LaGrange, but is there some way of putting some controls on it or managing it?
And my daughter would bring me shopping, and many times dropping me off in front of the house. The meter maid was right there with, one time, $140 ticket. So I think there's a need for the visitors' passes.
Turned out that right now on our section of Center Street, which runs from Holy Name to South Street, we have no public transportation on Sundays and holidays.
It's really based on older people taking charge of their own needs and their own community. And we need from the city the support for each neighborhood to come together and energize their own citizens and help each other out. It works beautifully.
you know, you do what you can. It's hard when you're not able to work. You know, I'm used to working, whether it was taking care of people in my home or before that, I worked at a shelter, you know, doing different things, worked with families, you know, that had different illnesses. So, you know, it's not like I haven't worked or don't know what work is. I worked all of my life since I was 14. And I took care of people in my home where I did everything for them for 20-some years, different people. But it was through a program agency that I did that. One point I had my own home. I lived on one floor, and my third floor I would rent out. But then I needed so much work done on my first floor when the tenant moved out that I just wasn't able to do it. I could, you know, was able to keep one as best I could, but if you don't have a lot of money where you can do what you need to do, you're in trouble. From my home, I did a short sale, but I received no money from it. And after doing the short sale, moved to an apartment, and I was taking care of people in my home. But after no longer having them, then I lost my apartment because I wasn't able to pay the rent. So therefore, I was evicted. They were going to be moving to some other place home, so that's why it ended. And after that, there was no other people for me to take care of. So physically, mentally, I just couldn't do it anymore. And then when you do the type of work that I was doing, you don't get retirement benefits, you don't get insurance benefits, so everything has to come out your pocket. The agencies get the money, big time money, but the people that's in their homes doing the work with the consumers in their home don't get it, you know. Well, I've been in these scattered sites since April 21st of this year, but prior to that I was at the a hotel in Brighton for a little over a year. My youngest granddaughter, she goes to the King's School. My other 16-year-old granddaughter, she doesn't. She goes to West Roxbury Urban Science Academy. Well, I meet with Family Aid every Friday with the housing search person there that works with me. Like I said, car payment. It's not a new car, it's an old car that I've had several years, but I'm still paying for it. It's not running right now, so, but I still have to keep paying that payment. Yeah, who's gonna buy it? You wanna buy it? Oh Lord, you have to laugh to keep from crying. Oh boy. And a lot of buildings or senior buildings don't want children, you know, and I can understand that, but they still need to make affordable buildings or apartment buildings or homes for people that may have their grandchildren or children, you know, where they can live.
I'm a Townie. I have lived here all my life. You know, my father passed away when I was 15, and so my mother brought all of us up, 9 of us. And then when we developed this block here, she came with us, and 2 of my brothers and a sister live in the building. So we have togetherness with independence. When George, my late husband, was ill, we needed to do something so that he could stay at home. He wanted very much to stay at home. So what we did was install an elevator, which was great because we were able to build the shaft outside. We lost a dining room window. So it was great because he could maneuver here in the unit in a wheelchair to take him in the elevator right down to the car and go off to do whatever we wanted to do. We're very, very lucky that we had that. Otherwise, he couldn't stay at home. You know, and he said, as soon as you put me in a nursing home, I know it's the end. Vanity be damned. I am going to be safe. And I have the walker in the back seat of the car, and I use it whenever I feel as though I need. If I'm going to a grocery store, I look for a shopping cart, and that's my walker. If I'm just going a few steps into a store, I have a cane on the floor of the back seat. No, I am not resistant at all, because the alternative is falling and then not being able to be mobile. In the house, I'm fine. I'm very comfortable without the walker. Outdoors, I'm frightened. Cobblestones, brick sidewalks are treacherous. They're treacherous in good weather for me, even when I didn't need the walker. But I try and go over those brick sidewalks with a thin sheet of ice.
All of us wanted a neighborhood that was diverse and a more interesting. We didn't want to live in a suburb. We wanted to live in the city. We wanted to live in a neighborhood that had diversity.
We did some desultory collecting of brochures about where people moved when they got older. And the kids who were living in Boston, they were interested in co-housing at the time and thought that perhaps there might be an opportunity there.
For one thing, it was definitely two separate units with totally independent kitchens. We looked at one gorgeous Victorian not far from here and thought, could we share this? And then we started thinking about the logistics of the kitchen and of the, if we had a dinner party or they had a dinner party, how awkward it would be to be out of each other's hair. Katie has become a reader. She loves to read, which doesn't surprise me, but one of the things that's absolutely marvelous is that she occasionally now will come downstairs with her nose in a book and curl up on our couch for a quiet period of just being alone a little bit and reading.
But there are times when I feel like they are not, they're not stopping doing something that I think they shouldn't do or something, and I may yell. So some time ago, we made up a series of rules. And the first rule is that Grandpa's not supposed to yell. The second rule is, I think these are, they should be reversed, really. But the second rule then was that they shouldn't do anything that makes me yell. But I yell, and then I get called for it.